We all have this picture in our heads of what America is supposed to be. You know, the one from old photographs and grand speeches, a land of endless opportunity, a beacon of stability, a nation united. It was a promise of a shared dream, a common purpose. But let's be honest. If you look closely, you can see the battle lines being drawn, not with soldiers and flags, but in the quiet fractures of our society. This isn't a fight for territory. It's a war for the very soul of the country, and it's being fought on four fronts you might not even realize exist. The first front is a war over our industries. This goes way beyond empty factories. It's about a technological revolution that's rewriting the rules of our world. Artificial intelligence isn't sci-fi anymore. It's here, and it's changing everything. The government is scrambling to keep America at the forefront of AI, promising a new wave of innovation and high-paying jobs. But every revolution has its casualties. While some new jobs are being created, projections show AI threatens to eliminate millions of existing ones, from administrative roles to even software development. Entry-level positions, the traditional first step on the career ladder, are starting to feel like a thing of the past. This upheaval is creating a new divide between economic winners and losers, feeding a quiet desperation in towns left behind and a growing anxiety for everyone trying to adapt. The dazzling promise of an AI future is colliding with the harsh reality of who gets left behind. The second front is in our own government. Our political system is staring down a total crisis of trust. In 2025, the political center has all but collapsed. One 2025 Gallup analysis, for example, noted that the share of Democrats identifying as moderate had fallen to just 34%. This isn't just healthy debate. It's what experts call effective polarization, a fancy term for the fact that we've started to see our political opponents as enemies of the state. This toxic division has brought our institutions to a grinding halt. Trust in the federal government is plummeting, replaced by a nagging belief that the whole system is rigged for the rich and powerful. Suddenly, arguments over the very nature of democracy and the legitimacy of our elections aren't just for academics. They're the stuff of daily headlines. This isn't politics as usual. It's a systemic breakdown in our ability to simply govern ourselves. The third front is the war in our wallets. As our leaders argue, a slow-burn economic conflict is hitting American families where it hurts. Forecasts for 2025 suggest the economy is slowing down, with GDP growth struggling at around 1.5% and unemployment expected to creep upwards. For millions, the American dream feels more distant than ever. At the heart of this conflict is the growing chasm between the wealthy and everyone else. The middle class, once the powerful engine of the American economy, has been shrinking for decades. Its purchasing power is being ground down by wages that can't keep up and a job market that's changing faster than we can, while younger generations are fighting for an economy that values more than just profit. The political will to make that happen just isn't there. This is a quiet, grinding war of attrition against the financial security of everyday people. The final front is the cultural war for our communities, and this is where it gets personal. Our country is fracturing into ideological tribes that are divided by deeply held and often completely irreconcilable beliefs. These divisions explode into furious battles over everything from what our kids are taught in school to what it even means to be an American. This cultural split is defined by a fierce backlash against changing values on one side and a rising tide of nationalism on the other. Debates over race, identity, and tradition are no longer just discussions. They are the fault lines cracking our society apart. Fear has become the one thing we all have in common, with polls showing a vast majority of Americans are worried about the future, expecting more political conflict and feeling that the nation is deeply divided on its core values. This isn't a simple disagreement. It's a fundamental conflict over who we are and who we are trying to become. But here's the most dangerous part. These aren't four separate conflicts. They're four fronts of the same war, and they're starting to merge. Think about it. The loss of an industrial job fuels economic anger. That anger gets funneled into our polarized political system, and that political fury is then amplified and locked in by our cultural divisions. It's a vicious, self-reinforcing doom loop. So, what do you think? Which of these fronts feels the most critical right now? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if this gave you a new way of looking at the challenges we face, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the forces shaping our world.